Imagine stepping into your garden, not with seed packets in hand, not with trays, labels, or plans for replanting, but simply to harvest. Imagine vegetables that behave less like annual crops and more like fruit trees. You plant them once, and year after year, they quietly return, stronger, fuller, more generous than before. No constant resowing, no starting over every spring, just dependable food, growing on its own rhythm. Today, here at Buckeye Bloomstead, we're uncovering 20 vegetables that grow like fruit trees, plants that reward patience with abundance. Some of these are familiar. Others are so overlooked that even experienced gardeners rarely grow them. And the final few on this list, they can completely change how you design your garden, especially if you want more food with less work. So get comfortable and let's explore the vegetables you plant once and harvest for years to come. Let's start underground with a plant that hides its harvest beneath the soil, but never forgets where it was planted. The Jerusalem artichoke, also called a sunchoke. Jerusalem artichokes look like cheerful sunflowers waving in the breeze, but their real treasure lies below the surface. Once planted, these knobby tubers multiply on their own. Harvest what you need, leave a few behind, and they return every year. Thicker, stronger, more determined. They thrive in poor soil, laugh at drought, ignore pests. In fact, the biggest challenge with Jerusalem artichokes is keeping them from spreading too enthusiastically. This is a true set-it-and-forget-it crop, a fruit tree disguised as a root vegetable. Next is a plant so resilient that even a broken piece left behind becomes a promise for the future. We are talking about horseradish, one of my favorite vegetables to use in the kitchen. And let me tell you, horseradish doesn't ask permission. Once it's in your garden, it stays. Even the smallest root fragment will grow into a new plant, returning year after year with that unmistakable fiery bite. It thrives on neglect, shrugs off frost, and keeps producing powerful roots loaded with flavor and natural compounds. This is the plant you tuck into a corner and quietly rely on for decades. We recommend planting it where you can control its spread, because we all know a little bit goes a long way with this vegetable. This is a vegetable that you can grate, freeze, and dehydrate, which makes it more versatile to use in the kitchen. Besides the obvious use of adding it to sour cream for horseradish, you can add frozen or dehydrated horseradish to soups, stews, and sauces. If you have never thought about growing horseradish, give it a try. Now let's shift to a plant that feeds you while covering your soil in living green. Can you guess which vegetable I'm talking about? If you said sweet potatoes, you're exactly right. Sweet potatoes don't just produce delicious tubers beneath the soil. Above ground, their vines spread like a living blanket, protecting the soil, locking in moisture, and naturally suppressing weeds. And here's a bonus many gardeners don't realize. Those lush green leaves are completely edible, tender, mild, and packed with nutrients. Leave a few small tubers in the ground, and when warm weather returns, so do the vines. Right on schedule. Once sweet potatoes are established, they rarely ever leave your garden. They simply renew themselves season after season, quietly cycling back into abundance. And even if sweet potatoes aren't your favorite thing to eat, the beauty of those cascading vines alone makes them worth growing. They turn garden beds into living artwork while still working hard beneath the soil. Now, before we move on, there's an important distinction we need to make, and it's one every gardener should know. Sweet potato leaves are completely edible. In fact, they're enjoyed as a leafy green in many parts of the world. They're tender, mild in flavor, and packed with nutrients like vitamins A, C, and K, along with iron and antioxidants. Sweet potatoes aren't true potatoes at all. They belong to the morning glory family, not the nightshade family, which means their leaves don't contain the toxins found in regular potato plants. Sauté them, steam them, or add them to soups and stir-fries, and you've got an extra harvest many gardeners never realize they have. But this is where the line is very clear. The leaves of regular potatoes should never be eaten. White potatoes, red potatoes, russets, all of them are part of the nightshade family. Their leaves and stems contain a natural toxin called solanine, which can cause serious digestive and nervous system issues if consumed. So here's the simple rule to remember. Sweet potato leaves are food. Regular potato leaves are not. It's a small detail, but an important one, and knowing the difference lets you grow with confidence and harvest safely. Some plants teach patience, but the reward is worth every season of waiting. And this is a favorite of mine, asparagus. Asparagus is an investment, the kind that rewards patience year after year. The first year you wait. You focus on building strong roots even though there's little to show above the soil. The second year, you begin to glimpse its promise. Slender spears push up in spring, reminding you that something powerful is happening underground. By the third year, you're harvesting. Tender green spears rising from the soil every few days, ready to be picked again and again throughout the season. And then comes the real magic. Once established, asparagus doesn't just return, it commits. A well-cared-for asparagus bed can produce for 15 to 20 years, sometimes even longer. No replanting, no starting over. Each spring, right on schedule, it sends up new growth as if it never left, stronger, thicker, and more abundant with time. Asparagus thrives in full sun, prefers well-drained soil, and once its roots run deep, it can handle heat, drought, and even a bit of neglect. It's one of those rare plants that asks for patience early on, then gives back generously for decades. And here's a simple companion planting tip that makes asparagus even better. Plant asparagus alongside tomatoes, parsley, or basil. Tomatoes help repel asparagus beetles, one of asparagus's few real pests. Parsley and basil attract beneficial insects while improving airflow around the plants. It's a quiet partnership, nothing flashy, but it keeps your asparagus healthier and more productive year after year. This is the definition of plant once, harvest for years. A vegetable that behaves like a fruit tree, dependable, long-lived, and deeply rooted in the rhythm of the garden. Next comes a plant that looks dramatic and behaves just as boldly. Rhubarb announces its arrival with confidence. Massive, umbrella-like leaves push up through the soil, followed by thick, ruby-red stalks that seem to appear almost overnight after winter fades. It's one of the earliest signs that the garden is waking up again. Plant rhubarb once, give it plenty of space, and it can reward you for 10 years or more, sometimes far longer. Each spring, it returns right on cue, stronger and fuller than the year before. Rhubarb thrives in cooler climates and actually needs winter cold to perform at its best. It loves rich, well-drained soil, packed with organic matter, and once established, it asks for very little in return. A layer of compost each year and consistent moisture is often all it needs to thrive. Harvesting rhubarb is a lesson in restraint. Pull a few stalks at a time, never more than about a third of the plant, and it will continue producing steadily throughout the season. Treated gently, it becomes one of the most reliable producers in the garden. And while we call it a vegetable, rhubarb behaves more like fruit. Its tart, tangy flavor has been treasured for generations in pies, crisps, jams, and sauces. It's one of those plants that blurs the line between garden staple and seasonal tradition. Rhubarb is bold. It's resilient. And once it's settled in, it becomes a permanent part of the landscape, less like a crop you manage, and more like a perennial dessert waiting patiently for spring. Now let's move on to a plant that completely changes how most people think about leafy greens. Tree kale, often called perennial kale. This isn't the curly annual kale most gardeners are used to planting each spring. Tree kale grows on woody, branching stems and behaves more like a small shrub than a typical vegetable. Once established, it can live for many years, producing fresh leaves again and again without the need for replanting. Instead of forming a tight head or low rosette, tree kale grows upright, sending out new branches as it matures. That structure allows you to harvest continuously by picking outer leaves while the plant keeps growing from the tips. And the harvest really doesn't stop. As long as conditions are mild, tree kale keeps producing. In warmer regions, it can provide greens year-round. In cooler climates, it may slow down in winter, but often rebounds quickly when temperatures rise. Tree kale is also incredibly nutrient-dense, rich in calcium, iron, and vitamins A, C, and K. Many gardeners find the flavor milder and less bitter than annual kale, especially once the plant matures. One of the most unique things about tree kale is how it's propagated. Instead of seeds, it's usually grown from cuttings. Simply take a stem, root it, and you've got a brand new plant, identical to the original. This makes tree kale not just a vegetable, but a plant you can share, pass along, and keep going indefinitely. Tree kale thrives with simple care. Sunlight, decent soil, and occasional pruning. Cut it back lightly and it responds with fresh, bushy growth. This is one of those rare plants that truly earns its place in a long-term garden. Tree kale isn't just something you grow for a season, it's a plant you build a relationship with, one harvest at a time. Now let's talk about a plant that almost feels alive in the most literal sense, the Egyptian walking onion. This isn't your average onion, and it certainly doesn't behave like one. Instead of producing flowers that go to seed, Egyptian walking onions form clusters of small bulbs right at the top of their stalks. As those bulbs grow heavier, the stalk bends, touches the soil, and the bulbs root themselves, starting a brand new plant just a short distance away. That's how it earned its name. It walks across your garden, and it's one of the toughest plants you can grow. You plant it once, and year after year it quietly spreads itself, step by step, without any effort from you. No reseeding, no transplanting, no fuss. And the best part? Every part of this plant is edible. The underground bulbs taste like a strong, traditional onion. The green stalks can be used like scallions. Even the small top bulbs are flavorful and perfect for pickling or cooking. Egyptian walking onions are incredibly hardy. They tolerate cold, heat, drought, and poor soil better than most garden crops. In many regions, they're one of the first greens to appear in early spring and one of the last to fade in winter. Once established, they're nearly impossible to lose, which makes them ideal for gardeners who want reliability and long-term food security. You harvest what you need, leave the rest alone, and the plant simply continues its slow, steady expansion. It's not aggressive, but it is persistent, a quiet reminder that nature knows how to take care of itself. This is a true plant once, harvest forever vegetable, not because it produces endlessly in one spot, but because it never really leaves. They require almost no care at all. No digging, no dividing, no fuss. You simply harvest what you need and let the rest carry on. In many gardens, these onions become permanent residents, lining paths, edging beds, and quietly feeding you season after season. They're not just a vegetable, they're a lesson in self-renewal. A reminder that some of the best food plants don't just grow, they take care of themselves. Now let's move on to a green that refuses to quit when summer heat sets in, Malabar spinach. Despite its name, Malabar spinach isn't true spinach at all, and that's exactly what makes it so special. While regular spinach bolts and fades as temperatures rise, Malabar spinach thrives in heat. It loves warm weather, humidity, and long sunny days, growing stronger when other greens give up. Instead of hugging the ground, Malabar spinach climbs. Its thick, glossy green leaves spiral up trellises, fences, and garden supports, creating a lush wall of edible greenery. It's as beautiful as it is productive. Once planted, Malabar spinach often reseeds itself naturally. Even if frost knocks it back at the end of the season, new plants frequently return on their own when warm weather comes back around. In warmer climates, it can behave as a true perennial, producing leaves nearly year-round. The leaves are tender, slightly succulent, and packed with iron, vitamin A, and antioxidants. They're excellent sautéed, added to soups, or stirred into stews where their mild, slightly thick texture shines. And the harvest is generous. The more you pick, the more it grows, making it a true cut-and-come-again green that keeps producing all summer long. Here's a simple companion planting tip that makes Malabar spinach even more valuable. Grow it alongside beans, peppers, or okra. Malabar spinach provides natural shade for these plants during hot weather, helping the soil stay cooler and retain moisture. In return, those plants create a supportive structure and a microclimate that encourages even more leafy growth. It's a smart, space-saving partnership, less watering, healthier plants, and a garden that works together instead of competing. Malabar spinach isn't just a heat-tolerant green. It's a vertical food source, a living shade system, and a reliable summer producer that keeps giving when you need it most. Now let's talk about a plant that truly behaves like a fruit tree. Now, I'm going to give this my best shot. Chayote, and if I didn't quite nail the pronunciation, please show me a little grace. I promise I'm growing the plant better than I'm pronouncing the name. At first glance, chayote looks almost too simple to be impressive. A pale green, pear-shaped vegetable hanging quietly from long vines. But once it's established, this plant reveals just how powerful it really is. Chayote grows on vigorous climbing vines that can cover an entire fence, trellis, or arbor in a single season. And when it's happy, it doesn't just produce a few fruits, it produces dozens, sometimes even hundreds, over the course of a growing season. The flavor is mild and refreshing, somewhere between a cucumber and an apple, making it incredibly versatile in the kitchen. It can be eaten raw, sautéed, baked, or added to soups and stews. Even the young shoots and tender leaves are edible when cooked. But here's what truly earns chayote a place on this list. Once planted, the root system stays alive underground. When the growing season ends, the vines may die back, but the plant itself isn't gone. When warm weather returns, new vines emerge from the same roots, ready to climb and produce all over again. That means one plant can feed you year after year without replanting. Chayote loves sunlight, tolerates poor soil, and responds generously to harvesting. In fact, the more you pick, the more it produces. It's a dream plant for gardeners who want abundance without constant effort. Have you ever grown chayote or even seen it growing before? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing what you're growing, and your answers help other gardeners discover new plants they might never have tried. And if you're enjoying these plant once, harvest for years ideas, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Buckeye Bloomstead. It helps this channel reach more gardeners who want practical, low-effort ways to grow real food. Now let's keep going, because the next plant on the list brings color, nutrition, and beauty together in a way few vegetables can. Before we go any further, there's something important every gardener needs to keep in mind. Not every plant on this list will thrive everywhere. When we talk about vegetables that grow like fruit trees, plants you can put in once and enjoy for years, your growing zone matters. Climate determines what survives winter, what comes back on its own, and what may need protection or replanting each season. A plant that behaves like a true perennial in one region might act like an annual somewhere else. That doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it requires a different approach. This is why it's so important to know your USDA hardiness zone. Your zone tells you the average cold temperatures your area experiences and helps you understand which plants can survive year after year in your garden. Some of the vegetables we're talking about today thrive in cooler climates. Others love heat and humidity. And a few are truly tropical, meaning they may need to be grown in containers, protected over winter, or treated as seasonal plants depending on where you live. Checking your zone before planting saves time, money, and frustration. It helps you choose plants that will actually succeed, and it allows you to adapt your garden intelligently instead of working against your environment. And here's the encouraging part. Even if a plant isn't hardy in your zone, that doesn't mean you can't grow it. Many gardeners use containers, greenhouses, mulch, or simple winter protection to keep perennial vegetables alive year after year. The key is knowing what your climate supports, and then working with it. So before you plant, take a moment to look up your zone, understand your seasons, and choose the plants that will thrive where you are. Your garden will be healthier, more productive, and far more enjoyable because of it. To find your zone, simply search USDA Hardiness Zone along with your zip code, or visit the USDA Plant Hardiness Zone map online. It only takes a moment, and it gives you valuable insight into what will thrive where you live. As you can see, some of the most powerful food plants aren't the ones we plant every year. They're the ones that quietly return, season after season, asking for very little and giving back a lot. These vegetables aren't just crops. They're long-term investments in your garden, your soil, and your food security. And we're not done yet. In Part 2, we'll be covering even more vegetables that grow like fruit trees, including tropical survivors, hidden perennial greens, and a few plants most gardeners don't even realize can come back year after year. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you're subscribed to Buckeye Bloomstead, because the next video will be titled, Plant Once, Harvest for Years, even more vegetables that keep coming back. I'll have it ready for you very soon. Until then, keep growing with intention, keep learning, and remember, the best gardens aren't the ones that demand the most work. They're the ones that keep giving back. Thank you for being with us today.